I canceled my subscription way back when, and you guys are lying.
You know what that sounds like? That sounds like gaslighting from a freaking major corporation.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I won't be returning as a customer. HelloFresh is recognized as a fraud charge on my account.
My name's Diana, and I like to dance. Welcome to Doing Stuff with Diana. Everything in this video is based on our personal experiences and not intended to be defamatory. We hope you draw your own opinions on purchasing this product. Welcome back to Doing Stuff with Diana.
I know. I am sorry for my absence. I birthed a whole other human in my absence. So, I'm back. I was also a little lazy to set up in order to record. But this issue is so pressing to me that it needs to be addressed. This issue has angered me so much for so long that I gathered the strength to assemble my recording studio, aka the corner of my room. The only social media app I have been using in my absence has been YouTube. And let me tell you, every single time my favorite YouTubers get sponsored by HelloFresh, I see red. Why is HelloFresh still shilling out money for advertisers when they need to fix their internal problems? Because let me tell you, there is a lot. My commentary about HelloFresh's issues have started from 2020, okay? That is where my timeline starts as a past customer with them. When our HelloFresh subscription started, it was before the panini, and the only issue that occurred at the time was when the panini happened. That's when we started having some issues. But even with that, with the issue that they couldn't help because of a whole pandemic going on, the issues that happened later on in the years are way worse than that. I would prefer the delivery tardiness that we had in 2020 versus the issues that they threw at us the following years. Welcome to Doing Stuff with Diana. I cover anti-MLM topics as well as scams like HelloFresh, allegedly, and other stuff. It's in the name because I like to talk about whatever I want. So hit that like, hit that subscribe button, homies. Enough with the begging. In researching for this video, I came across an article about this very issue I'm about to discuss. HelloFresh denies taking money after accounts closed. As of March 15th, this was made. Lies. Let me tell you, I agree with this article, and I don't know why they're denying it, because that's exactly why I am here to lecture you today. Let me start with our timeline interacting with HelloFresh. In the beginning of 2020, me and my husband signed up, and we had no complaints in the beginning. Matter of fact, the pandemic hit, and the major issue they had was delivery, so they would just deliver really late. And another issue that we had back in 2020 was that sometimes they would send the ingredients with the wrong recipe card, or vice versa, send the right recipe card with completely different ingredients. Wait, is that the same thing? Anyway, again, not a big deal. There was one time we had to look up the recipe for the meal bag that they sent, and we followed off of that. Okay, fine. A little annoying, not that big of a deal. Late 2020, we were financially stressing. So late 2020, we put a pause. Okay, no issues. Then in 2021, we reactivated our account. There was mostly no issues 2021 because we had nothing to change until my husband would fix the subscribed meals that they would give you automatically. He's changed it to stuff we wanted, right? Boom, he logs back in. It's back to the original selections that they had given us. Okay, that's not what we wanted. How do we fix this? Especially when you're not a fan of some of the recipes, right? They weren't giving us that option. They were just changing our selections back to the original selections they made for us for the week. Freaking annoying. Another time in late 2021, they delivered our package to the right apartment complex, wrong apartment number. So best believe we sent my husband to go grab it, snatch it before they could grab it from us, and come back. Early 2022, they delivered it to the right apartment number at the wrong apartment complex. So at the time, that was our meal for the day, okay? Like, we had no money for nothing else, okay? Our fridge was empty. I got my daughter in a stroller and I walked down the street and into the other apartment complex to the door with the exact same apartment number as us and saw that the box wasn't there. So I knocked, no answer. The guy was on the patio, so I went down the stairs a little bit and was like, "Excuse me, did you get a HelloFresh box?" Do you know how dangerous that is? I had no choice. Otherwise, we wouldn't have eaten that day. Ate that day? Whatever. And then after that, I had to carry the box while also pushing my daughter in the stroller. And I don't even remember how I did that. It must have been so freaking annoying and exhausted that my memory erased it. HelloFresh literally got me knocking on strangers' doors for my food. Hi, did you happen to get my food? Putting myself in danger. That's not the worst of it, okay? That's just the beginning. We're here over money issues. Let's read that article I mentioned in the beginning. Food delivery firm HelloFresh has denied taking subscriptions from customers who say they canceled their accounts. The BBC has heard claims that some customers found their accounts reactivated with money taken for orders they had not made. They believe that just logging onto the app reactivated their accounts. That sounds illegal, doesn't it? That should be illegal. Like, you're literally reopening people's accounts because they logged into their profile on your website. Are we not allowed to do that? Did we sign a terms and agreement saying that you can't log in unless you know that you're gonna be ready to start paying for their services again? When it comes to my personal experience, in 2023, we paused it. We were in the middle of moving. Genuinely, we could not afford it again. Tears. And that's when they started to unpause our account, which they did. They unpaused it, and I'm gonna have a guest that can firsthand tell you exactly what happened. But they unpaused our account and started charging us for meals that, first of all, we had moved already, so they would have sent it to the wrong address because we were on pause. Overall, this experience would have been good, and we would have gone back to HelloFresh when we were financially able to if they weren't screwing us. The recipes were good, and I honestly feel that whenever we did have a membership with HelloFresh, we ate healthier. And that's really important to me, okay? I like to try to eat healthy. And some days when you're cooking on your own and don't have any plans, what do? You go for the fast and the unhealthy. So yeah, I do miss HelloFresh. Theoretically, if they weren't trying to rip us off, lying to us, gaslighting us.
Hello, welcome. Oh wait, no, I don't need to do that part. Today I am talking to an ex-HelloFresh customer. He prefers to stay anonymous, so that's what we shall do. Let's go by Buddy. Buddy, hello, how are you?
Oh, I'm okay. How are you doing?
You know how it is, not having a weekly meal plan.
Yeah, whatever you to do. Forage, gather from the woods again, eat your neighbors.
So, please explain to us the timeline with your experience with HelloFresh.
Yeah, so I suppose, like everyone, I saw the YouTube sponsorships initially for other meal services, but then eventually HelloFresh decided to try it out because the deals they were offering seemed pretty good. And at first it was really good. The recipes were all really good. A lot of variety in the food. In 2020 is probably when I first started having problems with just recipes like arriving late.
Was that during the pandemic?
Yeah, so that was kind of like towards the beginning of the pandemic, so I kind of understand the issues there. You know, post-pandemic, I had stopped the subscription for a while during the pandemic because, like everyone, you know, it wasn't feasible to really keep up with that weekly bill.
Oh, yeah.
So I had stopped the subscription, and then when I'd started back up, I think in like 2021, maybe Yeah, 2021, towards the middle end of that year. I had started up the subscription again, and, it started out okay again, but then the more and more problems started coming up with it. First thing is that they offer you the ability to substitute things on the meal if, there's something that you don't like, or switch it out for a different recipe if you know that you won't like what they have on the menu. And I would do that, and the box would get there, and it would just be completely wrong.
The recipe cards and the little bags of food?
So sometimes it would be like just the food was completely wrong, like it wasn't the recipe I requested. Other times it would be the recipes I requested, but like it would not have the recipe card. That isn't too big of a deal because on the app you can pull up the recipe card, but I kind of like to just work off the paper while I'm cooking it, so not having it was minor complaint, but nothing to be too hung up about. But the wrong recipe showing up, the, not giving me my meal substitutes that I requested, those were issues that I would try to bring to their customer support. And oftentimes they would, comp something, give us a discount, whatever. You can live with that. Now, where it starts to become a problem where I started to dislike the service is say there was a week where I knew we wouldn't be cooking that much, or I just, couldn't afford to do it that week. They give you the ability to pause it, and you can even select the amount of time that you pause it for. But a lot of times I would do that, and they would still just bill and send the box anyway. Even worse than that, at some point when I had tried to suspend the service, until further notice because I was not really wanting it anymore, they would bill without even sending the box. After that had gone on and I thought it was finally sort of dealt with, I had moved, and upon moving was getting billed for it again, and then upon contacting customer service, they refused to give a refund because they said the box was delivered to an address I didn't even live at.
Because you hadn't updated it because you were busy moving and you had it paused. Why would you take the time to update it if you're not even gonna, if you're on pause, right?
In regard to that, it wasn't even just like the 1 week pause, because on the app you can pause it for a week, pause it for 2 weeks. I had called them and told them, let's just stop it until I turn it back on. And the person on the phone had agreed to do that, told me that's what was going to happen, and lo and behold, I'm still getting billed, and they're refusing to give a refund for a product that I never received. They were so in refusal of it because they had their delivery confirmation or whatever to a place that I don't live at, and it got to the point where I had to just submit a fraud charge on my bank.
So you fought with them over the refund and they just refused?
Yes, and on top of that, just even canceling the account, they don't really give you a clean-cut way to do it in the app, so trying to do it over the phone was a nightmare. So I just had to block HelloFresh entirely on my bank, because even multiple times that I had requested it to be canceled it on the app, I would still get billed.
Oh, hell no. Wait. How many times would you say that happened? Like unwanted charges. How much would you say that was?
At least 6.
Are you kidding me?
Yes, because what had happened at one point too, when I had at least thought that I had canceled the account, because, I had done the cancellation process through the app, called them on the phone because they billed me the next week, and then they said, okay, your account's closed. A month goes by with no charges, and then I get charged for a month's worth, and them saying that they were charging me because I missed those payments.
How do you miss?
And I'd never received any of those boxes.
Dude. And you know what's funny? My other person I interviewed said that when they were canceling, they were refusing, and she just kept fighting. And they finally said, as a courtesy, we will give it to you. Like, what the fuck? I didn't realize that your situation was even worse because you got multiple times charged for a box that you were supposed to be on pause for.
Yeah, and eventually my bank reversed the charges, but, that's an entirely different thing than them refunding. That's just the fraud protection offered by the bank, because what they were doing fell under fraud. They were charging me for something that I wasn't receiving and not allowing me to cancel it or receive the goods that were being paid for.
Okay, so there's a theory going around that if you log in while you're paused that they unpause it for you. Do you think, or do you remember logging in at all and like looking around?
You know, it's possible because, like I said, a lot of the recipes were good. So there may have been a few times even where I would open up the app to look at a recipe because it has all your recipe cards stored on there too.
Yep.
So maybe there's a couple of times where I went to look at a recipe, and if that's what reinstated the account, that's concerning because that's completely unconsensual.
Yeah, like where did we sign and agree to logging in, meaning that was going to unpause our account? Because no one made it that clear. So, okay, here's my last question. If HelloFresh did a revamp, right? Because remember, the recipes were good. If they did a revamp and promised you that they weren't going to do you wrong anymore, they changed their system, they fixed their customer service, would you give them another chance if you were looking for a weekly meal service?
I think at this point I would rather just go with another meal service because with HelloFresh, like I said, in 2020, I think their customer service was actually fairly reasonable. You know, there were times where if something was wrong, they corrected it, gave me a discount maybe, compensated in some sort of way. But now it's to the point where they argue with me over stuff that shouldn't even be an argument. If I didn't receive the food and you have no proof whatsoever that you even delivered it, then that's really not something I'm comfortable purchasing again. And that's not to mention the time that they delivered it to the wrong address and it had to be picked up and carried by hand back to my apartment.
And like those boxes are heavies, okay? Those boxes are freaking heavy. It's not I'll just take you half a block.
And there's even a couple of occasions, because I lived in an apartment complex, where the driver would drop it off at another apartment in the complex, upload the picture saying it was delivered, and I'd have to figure out where that is and hope that whoever it was delivered to was honest enough to give it back, not open it, or eat it.
Or fight you. Because I was worried about that.
Yeah.
It's free food. At the end of the day, someone might fight you.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm very disappointed. HelloFresh started out as a really good service, good food, really convenient to have, you know, anywhere between 3 and 5 of the meals out of the week. Pre-prepared.
Oh,
makes it so you get home from work, you don't have to think about what you're cooking for dinner. The directions were easy to follow. But they made it so that you essentially have to continuously use the service, and even if you decide you don't want to, they're going to bill you for it anyway.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, it's a matter of trust.
Right, and I don't, there are times where I'm not able to use the service for a week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe I'm gone, maybe I'm out of town, and it's very discomforting to think that they'll just bill anyway, even if I pause the account, cancel the account. There are occasions where they will just continue to bill, and maybe it doesn't happen to everyone, but it makes me extremely uncomfortable doing it, knowing that it was that long of a fight for me, and it got to the point where they were so adamant and defensive of their position that even though, as I said, I didn't receive the food, I didn't live at the address that they claimed to have shipped to, and I had canceled the account, had email and phone call proof that I had canceled the account, and they refused to refund on that, and then tried to claim that the reason I was charged because I was past due on an account that was canceled. I won't be returning as a customer.
Like, they're literally blocked on your bank account by now. Like,
yes,
there's no turning back from that.
HelloFresh is recognized as a fraud charge on my account.
I feel like if you called your bank and was like, oh, can I reinstate this person to charge me? They'd be like, you sure?
Well, the thing is, when I talked to the fraud department in the bank, too, and explained the situation, the guy on the phone said it's not even the first time he's heard about that. They've had more than one customer just in my bank that's had the same issue of them claiming to have delivered it, not delivering it, or not receiving the product, and then them refusing to refund you on a product you didn't receive. And that,
Wow.
at least per my bank, is their definition of fraud, is being charged for a product or service that I did not receive.
At some point, they're going to have to escalate it, watch. With multiple banks being like, why is HelloFresh doing this? Stop it. It's costing us literally millions. I bet.
Let's see, I was usually getting the boxes that were typically 3 to 5 meals with 4 servings each. So that's already like $70 to $80 a box.
Oh.
So for the bank to refund me on a month's worth of that, so 80 times 4, that's 320. And that's just me. That's just me that the bank had to refund in fraud charges.
Imagine however many people that they're doing this to. They're making bank.
Yeah, and I do think it has to do with, like you were saying, that at some point the customer service changed, and it was very noticeable. 2020, even early 2021, the customer service, you call it, you get someone who, at least for the most part, believe would be in the continental United States, typical American accent. It changed at some point to foreign accents, which it goes to show that they're outsourcing. They're looking for cheaper solutions to their customer service, and those cheaper solutions seem to care more about defending the bottom line and the profit than they do actually satisfying the customer.
Yeah, it's almost like whatever agency they're using now as customer service support is prioritizing making them the most money versus resolving solutions, resolving problems.
Right, and that's what it feels like, is all the problems I had 2021 and onward never had a resolution.
2021, you said?
Right, so 2022, 2023, I never had a resolution to any of the problems I contacted customer support about.
Is there anything else you would like to add before I let you go?
Yeah, I don't really have a recommendation for a different meal service, but just so everyone's aware, every HelloFresh recipe is available for free online.
Ooh, is there a website or something? Can you shout it out?
It was just a quick Google search. And
is that allowed?
There's a whole forum. If you are a HelloFresh survivor like myself, but you miss the recipes, you can look them all up online and remake them if you didn't keep the cards or deleted the app.
Well, thank you.
Oh, and this isn't the only customer I have for you today that wants to talk about their experience. My sister this year signed up for HelloFresh, and I warned her about our issues. I said, hey, keep an eye out, because they ripped us off and they were fighting to give us our refund back. So be careful. And guess who got screwed? My sister. Here she is discussing her experience. Hello, HelloFresh victim.
Yes, hello.
Before we start, last night I told my dad and my mom how my dance mom for belly dance, Ava, had passed away either this year or last year. And my dad, I had just said my belly dance teacher, right? It's like, oh, my belly dance teacher died either this year or last year. And he was all, oh, Ava? I'm like, how do you remember her name? And my mom was like, because he thought she was hot.
She was hot. I mean, what can we say?
Very beautiful. Very beautiful. So I was talking. I gave let me try again. I gave a timeline of our experience with HelloFresh and how like things were good sometimes and other times things were bad. I want to see if you can give us an explanation of your experience with HelloFresh, like your own timeline, if you could.
Basically, I signed up for it when did I sign up for it? I can't remember. But I only got like 2-3 boxes before I decided to cancel it because I wasn't even making the food. I was like, if the food's there and it's ready for me to make, I'm gonna do it. No, actually, I would not do it, and then the food would just sit there until it rotted. So that's why I stopped. And then I think it was in May, in April or May when I first started, I got like 2-3 boxes, and then I cut it off. And then I didn't get any kind of bills or anything from them until June, end of June.
So like you got your subscription and the boxes in May and they only billed you for it in June?
No. They were billing me like correctly when I first started. Those first 3 boxes, they billed me every week like they're supposed to, right? And then I didn't see anything from them after I canceled it. I didn't see nothing until end of June. Suddenly they're charging me for a week. And I was like, what the hell? Like, I know I canceled it. But my memory's shit. So I was like, maybe I didn't. But then I was like, no, dude, that doesn't make sense because I didn't hear anything from them for like a month or like 2 months.
That's true.
I didn't see any bills from them. So I'm like, if I hadn't canceled it, and I know that I haven't been going in and skipping weeks, I would have had to been skipping weeks for like 2 months straight. Like, I would remember doing that, And I know I
logging
wasn't,
in,
yeah, I
pressing
know
skip.
I was not logging in to skip weeks. And then I went to their customer support, and that's when I had to talk to them. And they basically were trying to convince me that I had been going in for the last 2 months and skipping weeks they said you skipped these days on this day, you skipped these days on that day. They had like a whole like date and everything. And when they sent, first of all, when they sent me the dates of when I skipped, they were all jumbled up. The numbers were so weird. It looked like I couldn't even tell what it was saying, right? And so I was pissed by that point, and I was like, I can't even tell what this means. Like, can you explain to me what this means? Because I can't even, I wish I had the transcript still, but it was weird, dude. It was like 6-1 on it, it was just weird. It looked like just a jumble of numbers and dashes and stuff and slashes.
To confuse you, maybe?
Yeah, and they were like, "See?" And I was like, what do you mean see? Like this is proof. Like it just looks like numbers to me. I don't understand anything about it. And she was trying to explain to me. I was like, okay, then explain to me what this says right here. And I pulled like one, because it was like they were separated by slash, like I forget how they were separated, but there was like a set of dates, and then they were separated, and then it would say on or after or something, and then it would have another set of dates. And I was like, okay, then explain to me what this means, just this one line. And they couldn't really explain it, and then they kept trying to tell me like, no, like we're not gonna refund you, you know. They kept saying like, sorry, you know. And I was like, no, nope. I was like, get me to somebody else, get me to somebody higher than you, because this is crazy. And then I finally got to talk to someone higher than me, higher than them, and they were also saying that it was me, like skipping weeks. That they for sure, that I for sure was skipping weeks, and like they were like, as a courtesy, we're gonna refund you this one time. And I told them it's not a courtesy. This is what you should be doing, because I did not skip weeks. And by that time, I had
You
looked,
can't.
I canceled. I told them I canceled. And they were like, no, 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 you didn't, you didn't. And by that time, I realized I could check the activity on the app. And I saw that I didn't log in the whole month of June. And that was the month that they said that I was skipping weeks, like every other day.
What the?
And I looked it up. I have the screenshot still. There's no activity the whole month of June except for one day on, I think it was June 2nd. There was one like login to the app on that day, but I'm pretty sure it was like a mistake. Like I accidentally clicked it, because it shows that I wasn't in the app for more than a second. So like I don't think I could skip a week or 3 weeks at a time in less than a second, right? Like I must have accidentally clicked it and just got out right away.
Question. When they did send you that box at the end of that month, did you actually receive the box, or did they just charge you for it?
No, they charged me, and as soon as they charged me, that's when I got on there and I was trying to fix it. So
So
they
you
never
didn't
sent
even
me.
get a box.
No, they never sent me the box.
So then, even if somehow you logged in each week and press skip and press skip and press skip, that charge is still would have still been fraudulent, because you didn't get shit for it. You didn't even get a
Well, yeah, I
box.
mean, maybe they hadn't. I can't remember if they charge you after they send it out or before. But basically, it seems like I was able to cancel it before they shipped out the box. But I'm not sure. Maybe I can't remember if they charged before or after they shipped. So I'm not sure if they owe me a box or not for charging me. But I got to it fast. As soon as I saw the charge, I went and I was all up on their customer service. So it's possible that they didn't ship the box. You know, I canceled before they shipped the box, is what I'm saying. It's possible.
Oh, okay,
It's possible,
okay.
but I don't know.
If I remember correctly, they do charge beforehand, but I'll do an edit if I'm wrong and
Hmm.
be like, oh, actually, they do charge afterwards. But that doesn't sound right to me. But I have had one time or a couple of times where me and August were like, they didn't charge us for this box. And then it'd come in a little later. And it'd be like,
Um,
oh, okay, they hadn't charged us.
hmm.
We thought we were about to get a free
I
box.
was thinking that I was gonna get a free box, because I was like, they're gonna refund me and the box is already on the way. That's what I thought at that time. At the time, I was
Ah.
like, I'm gonna get a free box because I'm getting this refund. Like I was gonna get the refund. So so I was like, if the box shows up, then it's gonna be free. I'm gonna have some free food, but it didn't show up.
And you didn't.
Never
They
stopped.
probably can't stopped it
Yeah,
beforehand, huh?
before it shipped, probably.
Even if it was charging you for a box they had already shipped out, why did it take over a month for them to do that? You
I
see what
don't.
I'm saying? So theoretically, let's say that that last charge they did was for a box they had previously sent you.
Oh yeah, no, there's
That would
no
have been
way.
a month ago.
There's no way.
Over a
No.
month ago.
No, there's no way that it was a box. Cause I know I paid for the two or three boxes that I actually did get. I know I remember paying for that shit because they're expensive. So I remember
Hmm.
seeing the charge for each of those boxes. So it's not like they charged me late for a box that they already sent. They were charging me for a box they were going to send.
That's what I'm thinking, dude.
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder how their story would have changed up if you had noticed that you can see your own activity beforehand. Like,
No,
what would they have said then?
I told her, I was like, I have proof. When I told her that it's not a courtesy, it's what you're supposed to do. I told her I have proof that I did not log into the app all of June. And she was just like, you can send any proof to this email.
Wow, that's
Hmm.
freaking ridiculous. I have another question for you. Okay, so August had looked into it and had seen that other people were logging in just to look,
Hmm.
and they think that that's what's making
I
the
read that
subscriptions
online.
come out of pause.
I read that online too, that someone just logged in and then they started charging them again, even though they didn't sign up for a box or anything. And I even brought it up to the customer service person, the first one that I talked to. They were like,
Uh-huh.
no, no, no. And I'm like, dude, this is a known problem. Like, like I just looked it up and I told them there are several forums where people are talking about how you guys restarted their subscription without permission, and they just like tried to like brush it off. They just like didn't acknowledge that part of what I said. They just,
That's convenient.
yeah, they just kept talking about whatever they were talking about. And then I was like, I even told them how you told me before I got HelloFresh. You told me be careful because they started charging us like crazy after we had canceled. I remember you told me that, and I even brought it up to them. I was like, even my sister warned me before I started that. But at the time when you told me, I was like, oh, it's probably a one-off thing, and
Mm-hmm.
probably like their shit got confused and messed up or whatever. And it's not going to happen to me. That's what I thought at the
Yeah.
time when you told me. I was like, oh, that's not going to happen to me. Like, I'm sure if I cancel, it'll stay canceled. Nope. Nope.
You're the outliers.
Yeah, that's what I really thought, that because I mean, that's what anyone would think, right? But if you just do a quick
Yeah.
Google search, you'll find lots of people with the same problem, that they restarted their subscription without permission. It's crazy.
And I just don't understand how they haven't gotten in trouble for that yet, because that's like not
Yeah, like
okay.
I can't trust you with my card details. Like, you're supposed to be a reputable company, and I can't even
Yeah.
trust you with my billing information because you're gonna bill me without asking. I never had
And
problems, but I only had it for like 3 boxes max, probably 2 boxes.
if anything, that makes them look worse. You only tried their service for a little bit, and like you already had a negative
Yeah,
experience.
they already fucked it up. Even though I only had 2 boxes, they immediately fucked up.
Uh-huh. Like you would think, oh, okay, I bet she'll come back. Let's treat her right. So when she is ready to come back, bam, she knows who to go to
Mm-hmm.
because she liked us so much.
No,
You know?
dude. I couldn't believe that they were really trying to push that story that I had been logging in all throughout those months that I had canceled. They really were pushing that story. They even gave me that jumbled up list of dates to say, oh, you logged in on this day, see, you logged in on that day, see. And I was like, what? And at the time, I
Where
didn't realize I could check the app activity. But then by the time I got to the second customer service rep, I had realized that I could check the activity. And when I saw that I hadn't logged in the whole month of June, I knew you guys are lying. Because the whole time I was like, my memory sucks. So the whole time I was like, what if I was? Like, what if I
um,
did go in and skip many weeks? Like maybe I went in and skipped like a whole month's worth of weeks. at one
Mm-hmm.
time, which is not what they were claiming. They were claiming that I logged in on several different days and skipped certain weeks on several different occasions. But I, with my bad memory, was like, maybe they're right. Maybe I did do that. But once I saw the activity that I had not logged in the whole month of June, I was like, nope, you guys
Uh-huh.
are lying. I'm right. I canceled my subscription way back when, and you guys are lying. Like, that's just not what happened.
You know what that sounds like? That sounds like gaslighting from a freaking major corporation.
Yeah, they're like, this is what you did. See, they gave me dates, dude. They were like, see, you logged in on this day and that day. And I was like, what? No, I
Maybe I'm having
didn't.
amnesia
Yeah, I was like,
this
maybe I
episodes.
did.
Last question for you. Would you say if they fixed everything that you had issues with, that you would go back? If you were for some reason, because I know you said that you weren't keeping up with the recipes.
Mhm.
So if for some reason you were like, no, you know what, let me try again. I recently saw that HelloFresh had an overhaul and fixed all their ways they promise. Would you go back to them?
Absolutely not. I would never go back to them. Because like I just don't trust them. After that, I don't trust them. I don't care if they like admit that they have problems, which they're not going to do. I don't care if they actually admitted it and then said like, "Hey, we fixed it." I would still never go back if I was interested in a meal service. I would choose a different company because I just don't trust them. And then the way they treated me, like accusing me of like,
Gaslighting you?
yeah, of like fucking having logged in and skipped weeks and like, nah, they left a bad taste in my mouth. I'm not going. Never would I go back to them.
That's disappointing because, in my opinion, compared to the other, because we did also have like Blue Apron and I think something else. But in my opinion, and I could say August agreed too, we liked the recipes more from HelloFresh.
Yeah, well, they seemingly are the best meal service. I've
Their name is out there a lot.
Yeah, like I feel like they're the most known. They're usually the cheapest. They have the best deals. They have the most recipes. I feel like they're just the biggest company doing this right now. So if you ask someone like name a meal service, they're gonna say HelloFresh. So I had the impression that they were like, fucking they're reputable and like they got their shit together. I did never thought like that's like if Hulu started charging me. Like I trust Hulu. I know Hulu.
Mm.
So like if they just started charging me after I had canceled, I would be like, what the hell? Like you guys are a major company. How are you making this kind of mistake?
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, it's like they have everything on the surface looking like they're put
Yeah.
together.
It looks
The
like they're
logo's
put together,
great.
yeah. It
I'm
looks
all
like
about logos, dude.
they
I
are.
love their logo.
No, but it looks like on the outside you would think, yeah, look at their app. It's nice, it's clean. They give you all
Hmm.
these deals, and you just assume that they got their shit together, and they're not gonna charge
Hmm.
you without asking.
Or without letting you choose to get charged again.
Yeah. No, I was even scared because I forget why I logged into the app, but I was like, oh no, what if it restarts because I logged into the app? It didn't.
Like, after all that drama.
Yeah. Yeah, recently.
Oh my
Recently, I had to
god.
log into it for some reason. I can't remember why I logged into it, but I logged into
Probably to
it.
delete your card info.
I don't know, maybe I should if I haven't, but yeah, I was worried that they would charge me again just because I logged in.
And we made that theory up, right? Like, we said, like, maybe it's because you're logging in.
No, I read it online. Other people online have said
Oh,
like
that's
I
right.
logged
That's
in
right.
and they restarted my subscription, even though I didn't restart my subscription. Just logging in restarted my subscription.
Do you have any last pointers or things you want to talk
Hmm.
shit about?
Last words. Last words. Don't trust HelloFresh. They are slimy and sneaky. They think that they can just charge you without asking, and imagine other people like going through that. Maybe other people aren't as like stubborn as I am. I was getting my refund. So like imagine other people, maybe they don't have the time or like maybe they have social anxiety, maybe there's a lot of things that could prevent you from getting your refund the way you should, even though you've been charged incorrectly. I don't know. Like,
Especially the part where they gaslit you, dude. Like
yeah.
where they showed you all these login dates. I'm sure that would deter plenty of people. Like,
Yeah, they'll
damn,
be like,
okay.
"Oh, okay, I guess I did." Yeah, I wish I could show you the jumble of dates that they sent me. It didn't make any sense at all. And I swear, even the customer support rep had like trouble like saying what it meant because they told me that it means this and that. And I'm like, then how come on this side it says this and that? And they couldn't explain it, you know? Like it was just a mess of dates, just like a big chunk like that of dates just looked like a jumbled up mess. And
No
yeah,
like space between the paragraphs.
yeah, it was. I couldn't believe that they even came up with dates that I logged in.
I can't. It's like it was probably the email they sent in the morning. Like, okay, this is what we're gonna use to gaslight them for this month.
Yeah, like where'd you
Use
even
these
get that?
dates.
You know, where'd you even get that from? Like, it's just not true. I have
Yeah.
proof.
Do you have any socials you wanna
Oh
promote?
yeah, I am on Twitter and Instagram. I'm trying to do more YouTube stuff, honestly. I want to do more YouTube stuff, but just look for me Cupcake Cutie 449 everywhere.
Thank you for helping me out today, dude. I just want to spread the word so bad because every time I see like my favorite YouTubers still get sponsored by HelloFresh, I'm like, why do you still want more people when you can't even fix your shit with the current people you have?
Yeah. Yeah, like
So I'm trying to get testimonies.
hmm there's a lot of people. There's a lot of different threads. There's a lot of subreddits. There's a lot of people complaining about this issue.
This is so sad.
And they refuse to acknowledge that it's a problem.
Uh-huh. They can't even acknowledge it.
They can't be like, "Oh yeah, sorry, our system, something, something." They're just like they just don't even acknowledge that
Look
I
at
said
these
that.
dates.
Yeah, they just don't even acknowledge that I said like I told them. I was like, there's several people online talking about this, and they were just like they didn't even address what I said when I said that. So
And even after all these problems with HelloFresh, I theoretically miss them. The food, the recipes, the healthy servings already prepped for you. It's a lazy cooker's dream. And yet here I am having to come up with recipes, trying to organize my cooking with executive dysfunction. It's hard, okay? So yeah, I theoretically do miss HelloFresh. But with these trust issues that they've given me, you really think I would ever go back if they told me to my face, hey, we fixed our issues with our customer service and our issues with stealing your money and sorry about that? Would I trust them again to go back? No. I would just have to go to another meal service, okay? That's what I'm gonna do from now on because you've lost my trust. I forgive, but I don't forget. Thank you for listening today. Don't sign up to HelloFresh. I do not recommend it. You will get your money stolen. Thanks for tuning in. Like, follow, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace out, homies. Guys, this is how bad I don't want you to get scammed by HelloFresh, okay? This is how bad